Well, my understanding is that the US request was a broad one, that it would be calling on countries to either provide a vessel, aircraft or personnel. And so the government is responding saying, OK, we will provide more support via personnel, but we
Yeah, but Kieran,
are doing the heavy lifting here. And apparently, according to Richard Marles, the US supports that approach.
Well, according to Richard Marles, I mean, I still want to know what the NSC officials, what their advice was. And the fact that supporting with personnel, anyone would think that'd be a battalion or two. Well, we're actually, you know, I think the minister's being too cute by half by saying a tripling of our effort, which is in effect, Kieran, an additional 6 people. I mean, that just is quite an inadequate response, and I think as an opposition we've been calling that out, and we don't think that if China's saying our response is a good thing, it actually shows that it probably isn't the right decision. And if there is a capability issue with us being able to respond with frigates, etcetera, if there is, then the minister needs to be upfront about that rather than hiding behind strategic need in the region.
Well, there will be the surface fleet review released, he said, in the first quarter of next year. Let's look at something you focus on a lot, and that is on the aviation sector. A 17% surge in delayed and cancelled flights. I don't think any of our viewers who've flown much lately, have been on domestic flights, would be surprised by this number.
Yeah, it's just incredible, Kieran, to think that Minister King, the Aviation Transport Minister, has a review sitting on her desk, the Harris Review, which looked into access in and out of Sydney, been sitting on her desk gathering dust for over 18 months with actual recommendations that could assist with this. In that golden triangle between Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, over 45% of flights are cancelled. Now, when you've got 3 kids...
So what's behind so many cancellations? What's causing it?
Yeah, so what we heard in the Senate inquiry was that there are some of it's Air Service Australia and weather delays, but that only accounts for up to about 30% of the cancellation and delays. And the others, there are accusations of airlines gaming the system, so forwarding you on to the next flight, for instance, and we've all seen that collapsing as you wait for the next flight to roll through. I would be begging Minister King to pick the Harris Review up, not wait till after the next election to implement those recommendations as part of her aviation white paper, because Australians right now are dealing with cancellations and delays every single day at a time when they just want to get home for Christmas and just want to get on holiday.
Well, this time of year, absolutely. So many through airports, but for November, 2 in 5 flights were either cancelled or delayed. Every 5, there were 2 cancelled or delayed.
And it's not just Qantas. So I mean, we like to beat Qantas up, but it's not just Qantas.
It's not just Qantas, but would the Harris Review fix that issue of is it slot hoarding? Is that what you're using?
Yeah, well, gaming. So basically, because of the curfew into Sydney Airport, you can only have 80 movements an hour. Right. And so the accusation that we heard was that certain airlines hoard those slots. They don't give them up. They actually game that system of trading internally with the slots to actually make more money, and it's the customer that ends up having to pay.
So that's the key thing that needs to be fixed?
Absolutely, yeah, for cancellations and delays. And what I'd also like to see, and this was another recommendation that we made in that Senate inquiry, is that we have some consumer protections. So take Qantas, for instance. If you're a Qantas customer in North America or in Europe, you are covered by a comprehensive consumer protection scheme if Qantas cancels or delays your flight without good reason. That doesn't exist here at home. And so Qantas is the only airline that's actually saying we don't need that type of scheme here. And again, the Albanese government protecting Qantas by not implementing one.
That seems like a no-brainer on both fronts.
Yes. It's an easy win for the government.
You would think so. Yeah, you're helping them out.
I'm trying, Kieran. I'm trying. I'm on the side of the Australian traveller.
It's Christmas, but it's a difficult time for a lot of people, though, isn't it? I'm sure you would have had a lot of people, constituents and so on tell you that off the back of a lot of rate rises, it's not the easiest of Christmas.
No, it's not at all. And I'm hearing that, like I live in Wodonga in northeast Victoria. People are really, really struggling. They've got to pay the mortgage. Energy prices have gone through the roof. Prices generally are up 9%. So that's whether you're going to Woolworths or Coles, or whether you're going to buy your Christmas presents. And, you know, fuel's going up as well. And I think Australians are feeling like it's just getting harder. Their real incomes dropped, I think, a little over 8.6%. So they're working harder, but they seem like they're going backwards because they are.
Is that why the polls have come down for the government, in your view?
Well, I think Australians rightfully have been looking at the government and saying, whose team are you on? You've got minister after minister being accused of flying around the globe and domestically on, you know, special purpose aircraft, taking their golf sticks, taking their dogs, etc., running the voice referendum campaign. Focus on things that aren't making a significant difference to everyday Australians, who are obviously struggling, really struggling, and making tough decisions on their household budgets each and every day, and they're not seeing a government that's backing them in.
Senator McKenzie, thanks for your time today and throughout the year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Kieran.